Hey everybody, it's Carm here, and the director. It's been a while since he's appeared. Some of you who may be newer may not know him. This is Rocky. It's my director. I've been calling him that for a long time. He does, he works behind the camera as well. And I've had him now for 9 years, and he's just turned 10 recently, earlier this month. So, yeah, he's been with me for quite a while. Many of you have known him throughout the years. I also have Mina, who's just off camera, who I got a couple of years ago now, adopted her. But yeah, coming on with something a little different. I hadn't done one of these in a while. It's a tag response to Kelly, whose channel is Books I'm Not Reading. She just did a topic called the library tag, and it escapes me who originally started it, but I'll put that in the notes. But yeah, Kelly, I've known her on here for quite some years. She's part of the BookTube community, and yeah, very warm and inviting videos, very cozy. She has her own kitty. Her and her husband Jason, who has his own channel, old blues chapter and verse, and they have a kitty called Blue, so makes it in their videos respectively. And yeah, I was compelled to respond to this because I liked the topic, and she didn't tag me directly, but until afterwards I'd commented. But to me, the library throughout life has always been a really special place. When I was in school, it's probably my favorite place to be. My favorite non-class class, so to speak. I just always liked the whole feel of it. Maybe like in a secular sense, the way you look at a secular version of a church or a temple. It's kind of how I looked at the library throughout the years. And I'd say one of my favorite, what I call third spaces or public spaces, to be, socially or otherwise, besides obviously record shops, bookshops, maybe coffee shop, would be the library. And yeah, so I figured I'd just come on and respond to these. Just jotting them down real quick and see what I think of this. So yeah, I think it's 9 questions plus a bonus 10th. First question is, how often do you go to the library? Not quite as much as I used to, honestly. Maybe once or twice a month. I used to go all the time, from later childhood all the way through 20s and 30s, but up until the last maybe decade or so. Yeah, maybe in the last 5 years it's diminished, quite a bit. Obviously, with what had been going on and everything, a lot of places shut down for a while. But kind of getting back in there a little more when possible. But yeah, I try to go fairly regularly, at least trying to let too much time go by. Because again, I just like going there, whether I take something out or not, just to be in there for a little while. Second question: do you belong to more than one library system? Yeah. Here it's I'm not sure if it's per county or I think it's just general area, like the basic kind of cluster of towns is kind of one system at the very least, to where you could get a library card from one and go to all of them, and it's good all of them. Here's Mina, the younger one. But yeah, and there's one about maybe 45 minutes to an hour away that I've gone to for quite some years, and yeah, pretty much those two. But it's a lot of different places to cover, which is it's always nice. Third question is, what % of books you read come from the library? Well, again, it was a lot more in the past, maybe close to half for a while, between bookshops and the library. So yeah, it used to be half and half. Now it's maybe, I don't know, 10% of even that. I think, of course, there's so many books I've been meaning to get around to, either rereading or stuff that's kind of piled up over time, which I just put off to the side, and I'll get to it one day. So yeah, if I keep borrowing from the library, I mean, one nice thing about borrowing from the library, of course, is that the time limit, so you have a little more urgency to finish the book, to return it. But so I want to get into a few other things first before I get back into that habit of borrowing again, more frequently. But that's pretty much where it's at now. The fourth question is, do you listen to audiobooks or get ebooks from the library? And are you into all these other sites like Audible and all that? Not really. I mean, I'm pretty much a book person, physical copies. I have tried like books on CD, that sort of thing. I always, it kind of loses my attention though, in a way. I listen to spoken word things, like it could be interviews with authors or monologues, or maybe even someone reading their poetry. I didn't pull it to show, but I have an Ezra Pound record that I actually found from the shop from Record Wonderland, and it's actually him reading his poetry. You hear his, very distinctive manner of speaking, but more like things like that, but not so much audiobooks. Yeah, just I find it, in a different format maybe if they're reading something different, but I just prefer the actual, sitting and turning the pages. Get always done that way. The fifth question is, did you go to story time at the library as a kid? Probably, in school. I think I remember doing that, sitting around in a circle or however, and the teacher, or librarian reading to us. I vaguely remember that. If I did, I wish I would have paid more attention. I could remember better, but it would have been a very long time ago. Sixth question, have you ever borrowed a movie or video game from the library? Never video games, but every other format for sure, besides books, CDs, records, DVDs, VHS even, way back when. In fact, I think 6 or 7 years ago, one of the nearby libraries was selling off their VHS collection, and they had those kind of rolling, if you know, those kind of rolling racks, shelves that they would just put like overstock on. They'd put all the tapes on there in the lobby or special area for like $1 or something. So definitely took advantage of that. Bought a couple handfuls of those at least, and some of those may not have even made it to DVD or other formats. So I was glad to have them. Just rare documentary stuff and things like that. But yeah, I would borrow all kinds of things, whatever I would normally buy. In everyday life, I get there too, borrowing it. Seventh question is, have you ever been fined for returning books late, and how do you feel about that? For some time, I was notorious for being late and getting fined, and I don't know how much I've had to pay over the years. I think a lot of places I hear about have relaxed that in recent years. They'll let you take it out longer. You could keep extending it or get less of a fine, if any at all. But there was a time where I was definitely, a combination of being a procrastinator and poor time management skills, which I guess, kind of the same thing, or they go hand in hand. But yeah, that was definitely not the strongest suit, being punctual in that way. But yep, so that's where that's at. But gotten better at it. Just haven't borrowed as much, recently. Eighth question is, do you attend special events or groups or book sales at the library? Yeah, there is one library where they'll have a little sale in the lobby. It's always there, you can get stuff for between 50 cents and $2. And again, it's on all the formats, books, DVDs, books on CDs, so I'll do that sometimes. And yeah, there was a library the further one that I go to, every Thursday night they would do talks. They'd have an author come in and either talk about their new book, or it'd just be a variety of subjects. Like someone was talking about G.I. Gurdjieff, did a whole thing on him, in placing him in kind of a modern context of his teachings. And someone else did something, spirituality and philosophy and graphic novels, which is really neat. And finding talking about the archetypes of those characters and how they corresponded with others. Just a lot of neat subjects. Very informal. It was just held in this kind of like, they call it the auditorium, but it was like a small, almost like a meeting room kind of thing. But, again, very informal. They'd serve tea and cookies and stuff. And it was just, you'd hang out afterwards and you could talk to the speaker and everything, and meet up with people. And they didn't, through the pandemic, they stopped doing that. And they haven't brought it back yet, and hopefully they will, because it was just a really nice thing, Thursday evenings. But aside from that, haven't really attended much else. But hope they'll bring those back. Ninth question is: have you ever given or taken a book from the Little Free Library, a book box, or a bookswap? Yeah, I love the Little Free Libraries. We have quite a few in the neighborhood, and often go for evening walks. And if I know I'm going to be in an area where they have them, just if you don't know them, they're like these they look like little gingerbread houses, or miniature libraries up on a pole just on someone's front lawn, and they're just filled up with books. And usually I'll bring a couple with me that I'm not really attached to anymore, not looking to reread or anything, and I'll just put one in, take one out, and it's nice. I've found some really neat things that way. And it's always nice to come across a different neighborhood or wherever, or if you're driving around and happen to see one, and it's a nice little surprise. It's a nice system, that kind of kind of like a trust system, so to speak. Borrow, take one and leave one. It's really nice. So yeah, I like those very much. And I think that's it. And there's the bonus question: does your librarian know you by name? Yes, at that particularly far library, there's a couple there that I had been going there since maybe 2007 or so. So yeah, we know each other first name basis, and they're very friendly too. I mean, some places you go, they're kind of I don't know, maybe a little indifferent, but no, they're very friendly and warm, and you feel like an old friend, and knowing them throughout the years, it's always nice to return to. So that's may that continue. May that sort of thing continue within communities and libraries in general, because it's really needed as much as any other time. But just want to answer a few of these questions. Sounded like fun. Again, libraries have always been a special place, and very important to keep them preserved. And they ask you here to tag some friends. Well, I'd say anyone who's interested in doing this, by all means, if you're interested, if you like the library, and care to answer these and get into a further discussion. I guess 3 people I would think of right off the top would be Chris, JC68. I know is a fellow book lover and in libraries as well. Maybe Ingrid, from Radish Raven. I know she's mentioned. I know she loves reading and has talked about the library before. See what you think of these. Maybe I want to do a video. And Tink, maybe. Although I don't know Tink. I know she's a voracious reader, but I don't know. Isn't really mentioned. Being into the library a whole lot. But if so, by all means. So doing a little something different, just kind of spur of the moment. I just watched Kelly's video earlier and was kind of thinking about it, and just wrote them down real quick, and here they are. So if you feel like responding to these, by all means. And please check out Kelly's channel. I'll leave a link below, and see what you think. She does a lot of these tag responses, so you might find other ones that you might be into as well. Before I forget, I don't know if you could hear how well you could hear this. It's Canyon Spirits, John Hewling, and Native American flute music. A little ode to Chris, as when he did his own book video, he was playing some flute music in the background. So, all right, well, hope you're all well, and enjoy the rest of the holiday weekend. It's almost Memorial Day here in the States, so hope all is well. And until the next one, from the Furs and I, peace, love, and joy.